Last time on Ace Attorney Investigations 2. You can't teach a dog to suspend a body in a well. Well, dogs are pretty smart, and if he's a good enough boy, you don't know, Edgeworth. I feel like there might be, because what if she's lying? There's that possibility. There's that small possibility. I'm gonna go ahead and do it. We need to know all the facts. We need to know everything. Judge Courtney, my questioning isn't over yet. I'm sure the goddess of law isn't satisfied yet either. You mean to badger this woman further? Even if she was threatened by Dogen, this does not prove she was not the culprit in this case. She was able to use the supply route to transport Knightley's body. Do you have any evidence to support this? The body gave off a sweet scent, the scent of perfume that was used to signify delivery. Can you explain this fact? Oh, of course. Since I have made so many deliveries, the scent would have lingered around the well. When the body was moved through the well, the scent would have transferred to it. Mr. Albert also testified to this fact. That's it. For some reason, that well gave off a nice scent. Nice scent. I don't know what it was, but it smelled sweet, like candy. The lingering scent in the well would, of course, be picked up by anything passing through. The fence rests, I see. In that case, the court is adjourned. Mr. Edgeworth, isn't there anything we can do? What should I do? Is this as far as I can go? Is it over already? I know I didn't do shit, but I'm kind of bored here. Yes, Sebastian, it is. You just faded into the Shadow Realm, and now court is officially adjourned. Hold it! It's not him. Or is it him? Or is it Gumshoe? Or is it Kay? Who was that? I feel like doing something, finally. It's not nice of you to adjourn things like that, Courtney Pie. Mr. Shields, are you objecting to the court adjourning? Of course not. I ain't got no objection or anything like that. Go ahead and adjourn court. Do whatever you like. Hey, what are you doing, Mr. Shields? Whoa there, calm down, Kay. Who wants some chocolate? Is this a joke? I had a feeling that sweet scent was actually going to have to do with the candy he carried around with him. You'll have to excuse me, I just have only one tiny request to make. As Simon Key's attorney. That's right, you're the defense attorney in charge of this case, aren't you? Exactly, did you all forget? That's so mean. But you just left everything to Mr. Edgeworth, didn't you? You didn't do anything at all. Yeah, that's right, that's why I thought I'd do my job a bit. Do your job? That hardly sounds like you at all. It's to prepare for the trial. I'd like to ask the warden a few questions. Surely you jest. What more would you expect to hear from her? Well, Miss Warden, I'd like to hear your thoughts on the culprit. My thoughts? Uncle Ray believes that Simon is not the culprit. It seems that Miss Warden also suspects someone other than Simon. I'd like to hear you out. Mr. Edgeworth, what is Mr. Shields up to? He's trying to lure Warden Roland in to testify. Why was the supply route used to transport the body? I'd say it was to pin the crime on Dogen. Oh, I see. If he committed a murder here, he would be transferred to another prison. One with tighter security. And that would get rid of the troublemaker. Exactly. She wouldn't pass up on a chance like that. Hey, hold on a sec. The culprit besides Simon? What do you mean? Simon was the one I was supposed to prosecute. Exactly. So wouldn't it be better if the best also listened to what she has to say? Amazing, Mr. Shields. You managed to drag Mr. DeBest into this too. I thought you were a lazy homeless person like that Phoenix guy. Warden Roland, is this acceptable? No, my fellow voice compatriot. It's fine. It's fine. Apollo just burst through the wall. Damn right, it's fine. It's like, who are you? I work at Phoenix's office. Wait, he has a son? I'm not, whatever. You understand a woman's heart. Thank you, mademoiselle. Actually, I've thought this over. I'd like to tell you my thoughts. You'll let me speak, won't you, Justine, darling? Of course, you may speak. Mr. Shields, awesome. Ew, that was a close shave. Thank you, Mr. Shields. No, I'm still leaving the rest to you. Remember what I said. Defense attorney never gives up. The fate of our clients rests on your shoulders, after all. It'd be uncool if Uncle Ray didn't put that into practice. Now then, Miles, it's your turn to show you'll never give up. Right. Well then, will you listen to my story? Oh, I feel like we're nearing the end here. It's either going to be a long episode or 2 short episodes. Unsure yet. I can't believe that the culprit in this case could only have been Dogen. I have no idea what transpired between Dogen and the victim. It simply could not have been Dogen was displeased with him. In any case, he was the one who stabbed the victim to death. He probably had a dog dispose of the body. This is the truth of the case. I feel like there are things wrong with that already. The victim, Mr. Knightley, was it? I think it's a truly terrible thing. Taking a man's life, you mean? That's how you go about it. Wait, that's how you go about saying it, isn't it? If only I had been more vigilant, his death would not have happened. So I want to clear up his regrets. Warden Roland, how considerate. I'm sure Mr. Knightley in heaven is overflowing with gratitude. Is gratitude really what Knightley feels? No, he's just twirling around his gun in heaven. My story. I believe that the culprit in this case could only have been Dogen. Let's see, which one sounds kind of suspicious here? Wait, in any case, he was the one who stabbed the victim to death. He probably had a dog dispose of the body. That's the truth of the case. Does she even know what happened with the weapon and all that? I'd like to hear your thoughts about the circumstances surrounding the murder. Well, I suppose it was a simple job. During his booking, I learned that the victim had some kind of injury to his neck. He couldn't turn his neck to the right. I remember him saying something like that. Booking. That's the process one undergoes before being locked up in the detention center. Sounds like you don't really know a lot about Knightley. I only know a little. In any case, he would have been an easy target for Dogen. Perhaps he used the chisel hidden in the chessboard. The victim wouldn't even have a chance to scream. I see, your opinion will be very valuable reference. Could you add those last statements to your testimony? I think I just found out about it. Oh, you're making me blush. You're so C-U-T-E. I thought I was gone of her. I thought she was gone, but she lives on in every elderly lady. I mean, she's not that old. She's like middle-aged, but it would have been great if this lady just rips off like a face mask and it's just old bag. She's like, I just set this all up to be close to you, edgy boy. He's like, no. He just grabs on the electric fence. He's like, this is my end. This is how I'll go. I'll finally be free. I'm just kidding. I'll continue. Perhaps he used the chisel hidden in the chessboard. I want to inquire about that too. The chessboard. The thing that the victim brought with him. It seemed like he really enjoyed playing chess. Oh, by the way, what you guys did tell me that the standard check for prisons is actually just look through it, pat them down, things like that. So they did not just, I guess, not metal detect it, I guess I'd say. It seemed like he really enjoyed playing chess. How could I have guessed that the chisel would be hidden inside it? The chisel in the chessboard. That fact is only known by a select few people. This was the answer we arrived at from our reasoning after all. So then why does she know about this? In Dogen's hand, even a chisel is enough to be used as a lethal weapon. Okay, we need to present that. Objection! Yes! Warden Roland, you certainly are sharp-witted. Hey, enough with the titles. Call me Patty. P-A-T-T-Y. However, there is something you are a little too knowledgeable about. Hoo-hoo-hoo. Embarrassed? You're such an inexperienced child, Edgeworth, dear. Fight on, Mr. Edgeworth. You said you didn't really know much about Knightley. If that's the case, how did you know about the chisel inside the chessboard? Oh, of course. The entrance check. Objection! Enough with the poor excuses. The entrance check? The chessboard wasn't something Knightley brought with him. It was brought to him later by Mr. Keyes. He didn't even have it when he arrived here. But my mistake. I meant to parcel check. Objection! Even if we assume that there were still many suspicious points, why wasn't such a chisel immediately confiscated? Judge Courtney, did you tell anyone about the trick to this chessboard? I did not. No information about our investigation was leaked. And how did you find out? You could not have examined this during the entrance check or parcel check. Certainly, someone in the warden's position would never let a chisel slip by. Exactly. So answer this, Warden Roland. When and how did you learn about the chessboard secret? In that case, I shall answer it for you. It's because... I give up, Edward, dear. It is as you say. I interrogated Knightley. That's how I learned about the chessboard. But please believe me, I didn't kill anyone. Enough. It would appear that we have uncovered some vital information. I'll ask you to testify once more, if that's all right with you. Prosecutor Edgeworth. No objections here, for once. Thank you, Edward, dear. I'll do my best. Well then, Warden Roland. I trust there will be no lies from here on out. Her pool of lies is slowly running dry. Soon I will bring out her true nature. One thing I want to say about how I really like this case and what it's doing is I was worried that the case was too long and I would have to remember a billion things, but it actually clears out your inventory to make sure, hey, you don't have to remember everything. You don't have to be a superhuman with superhuman memory that remembers every little detail about the entire case, because when it hits the second half of the case, it's like we're focusing on this now. You kind of have to remember what happened before, but you don't have to remember everything, which I really like, and I think is a really smart move that for longer cases, I think the Ace Attorney series should keep doing. I wouldn't go so far as to call it an interrogation. I always make sure to talk to all new arrivals. Mr. Knightley, yes, we had a little chat. After our talk, he went right back to his cell, I assure you. She's piling lies on top of lies and not realizing that it only tightens the nooses around her neck. Or the noose. Nooses. When someone's so strong, you have to hang them multiple times. You speak with the new prisoners, you say? That's right. I'm glad you understand. Your testimony is not solid evidence. It requires more than just understanding. Well then, Prosecutor Edgeworth, you may begin your cross-examination. My story part 2. See, I wouldn't go so far as to call it an interrogation. I always make sure to talk to the new arrivals. Mr. Knightley, yes, we had a little chat. After our talk, he went right back in his cell, I assure you. I want to focus on this. So none of these are facts that I can refute. And what was Knightley like during the interrogation? He was very honest. Mr. Knightley was... honest, pal? He also talked about a croissant? Croissant? Croissant and some kind of promo. In passant and chess piece promotions, I assume. Looks like he was his usual chess-loving self. After our talk, he went right back to his cell, I assure you. The chats with the criminals? The warden sure is easygoing, sir. Easygoing? She killed one of the criminals, you know. Since the guy was handcuffed, it would have been a pretty one-sided affair. Warden Roland has to be the killer. I have faith in my reasoning so far. I wouldn't go so far as to call it an interrogation. Press? I'm certain you interrogated him the day before the show. Yes, around 3 a.m. on the 27th. 3 at night. Wait, did she say 3 a.m. or 3 p.m.? I think she said 3 p.m. if that's 3 at night. That matches the time of death on the autopsy report. You summoned him that late at night, and he wasn't asleep. Well, a guard was attacked in Knightley's cell, I remember. After that incident, we checked his cell and inquired about the circumstances. I'm sure all that excitement made it hard to sleep. Knightley was wide awake, you know. So even though it was highly irregular, you still carried out this late-night interrogation. Edgeworth, dear, you're so mean. It may have been irregular, but the truth is I had him moved. You can call it what you like, it still doesn't change the facts. Please excuse him. I'll give my incompetent apprentice a good scolding later. But for now, mademoiselle, what did you mean when you said you had him moved? I thought it was obvious, monsieur. I spoke to him in my office. Her office, the route she used to move Knightley's body. Please add that statement to your testimony. Looks like I pressed the right thing. I was worried that I hadn't. Of course. Oh, is this the new statement? Let's press this. If he really returned to his cell, there is no way he could be a corpse now. I know you're suggesting that I killed him during the interrogation, but I couldn't possibly have had a motive to kill Knightley. Could I? Dogen was the only one I hated, and he had no connection with the victim. But he did the chess game. She only hated Dogen. Please add that statement to your testimony. Ha. That's wrong. You're wronger than a... I don't know. I couldn't come up with an analogy, but here's his Knightley memo. I think this should be the last one. Judge Courtney, I'd like you to have a look at this. Looks like a record of a chess game. Is there something wrong with it? This was discovered in the victim's cell. It was Knightley's memo. Warden Roland, you also discovered this note in the very same place. And not just in Knightley's cell, but in Dogen's too, correct? What are you? Don't say that you don't know about the chessboard in the special cell. After all, you would have kept an eye on Dogen's actions down to the smallest details. No, to be more precise, it wasn't Dogen that you needed to keep an eye on. The warden was searching for Mr. Dogen's henchmen. From the start, I found it strange that the warden interrogated the prisoners personally, since he used his henchmen to threaten harm to our family. Warden Roland interrogated Dogen to expose him. So what are you saying? As you inspected Dogen's mail, you must have known that he played correspondence chess. And then Knightley appeared, with a chess memo in his hand. We deduced that he and Dogen were connected. You must have arrived at the same conclusion as well. However, you went one step too far in your reasoning. You thought Knightley was one of Dogen's henchmen, who had come to kill you. So that's why you interrogated Knightley, boy. The boss won't go after his henchmen. In addition, you discovered something when you were interrogating him. Inside his chessboard, you found a portable chisel. The murder weapon. To Warden Roland, the chisel was a symbol of Dogen. And that was the final straw. You believe Knightley was one of Dogen's henchmen and you killed him. It seems there will be no rebuttal. Judge Courtney, your verdict. Though it is incredibly unfortunate, there seems to be no more room for doubt. I shall announce my verdict. On the murder of Horace Knightley. Who's yelling, "Hold it now"? Could it be her? Twice my sacred verdict has been interrupted. Who was that? Oh, it's her. Don't squeeze your dog like that. Or your ferret. Can't really tell what that is. Looks like a ferret, mostly. Warden Roland? Oh, how strange. You guys really don't understand anything. I was expecting her to freak out a bit more. It would seem the one who does not understand is you. Me? Oh, I understand one thing very well. There's a huge contradiction in your logic, Mr. Edgeworth. Oh my god, if a ferret could do that for me. I've had, like, experiences with ferrets, and they're usually really mean. Maybe I just haven't had the right one, but... never goes well for me. Once she's cornered, she starts spouting nonsense. Pay it no heed, Judge Courtney. Your verdict. I am interested in hearing what the warden has to say. What? I thought so. I just have one thing I want to say. One? Please take a good look at the autopsy report. The autopsy report. The one I brought with me. I heard exactly what you said earlier, Justine, darling. You said the wound was 4 inches deep. 4 inches? No way. Could that tiny chisel really have made a wound 4 inches deep? Impossible! How could one have made such an error? Oh, forgive me, goddess of law. Well, I believe that overturns your hypothesis. What will you do now, Mr. Edgeworth? What do we do? It'll be alright, pal. Mr. Edgeworth always... Whoa, hey now. He's gone all white. Hey, you're a defense attorney, aren't you? Isn't there something you can do, pal? Do that turnabout thing. It makes some earth-shattering objection. Uncle Ray's a hard worker, but without decisive evidence, we're just whipping a dead horse here. Does that mean it's hopeless? The true killer is Warden Roland. If not for her, then nothing that's happened fits. But the chisel isn't the murder weapon. Are there any other sharp objects here? There are still many mysteries remaining in this case. However, we do not have the evidence to solve them at the present time. We have no choice but to continue this battle in the courtroom.
Objection!
Oh my god, my voice is so cool! Even though I don't sound like that. I will just give the killer a chance to destroy evidence. By the way, one of you guys said in the chat, not the chat, I don't know why I'm talking like it's Twitch, but one of you guys said on Discord, I believe it was, that there are several characters in this game that just have... There's several characters in this game that don't have voice acting because they have Japanese voice actors or something like that, and they had to, for the fan translation, they had to do a bunch of voice acting themselves, perhaps? Are you mocking the court? No, I didn't mean anything like that. You look perplexed, Miles. Thought of anything yet? The chisel is not the murder weapon. In that case, what is? It's no use. We're back where we started. No objections, Prosecutor Edgeworth. By the way, any baseless statements will be punished accordingly. It's no good. I can't think of anything. I need more time. I regret to say, I have no... Who now? No, Mr. Edgeworth. Remember what Mr. Shields said? Oh, it was Kay. If we give up, Simon will... Have you forgotten that sad look on his face? He was the only one who suffered... He was the one who suffered most from Knightley's death. If we can't save him, who will? Besides, Simon believes in us, so we can't give up. Okay. Miles, looks like you found a good partner. Looks like it's like little Kay says. Whenever you're backed into a corner, think of your client. Keep fighting until the very end. Isn't that the feeling you're getting? Gregory, your old man. No matter what trouble he faced, he would always turn things around and save his clients. You've got his blood in you, right? In that case, you're the only one who can turn this around. Judge Courtney. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth, I decided to use my bloodline technique. Your what? Edgeworth just starts shooting lasers everywhere and throwing fireballs. He's like, this doesn't make any sense. He's like, this is prosecutor blood. Or defense attorney blood. It's confusing, okay? The look in your eyes has suddenly changed. If you intend to speak, you'd better be prepared to face the consequences. Your logic thus far has been misplaced numerous times. If this were to happen again, I will consider you unfit to call yourself a prosecutor. And you will hand over your badge. That's right. My reasoning about this case has indeed been misplaced numerous times. And I made a grave miscalculation. Wait, my logic is misplaced. Still silent. I cannot condone this waste of time. Well then, Mr. Edgeworth, come on. Do the thing you usually do, spout a bunch of bullshit till it works. Mr. Edgeworth, I will announce my verdict. That's it. I have to turn my logic around. My logic isn't misplaced, it's been misled. This court finds the defendant, Simon Keyes. Isn't it a little early to hand down a verdict? We've been here for 2 hours. What do you mean early? Actually, I think it's rather late. Don't you agree, Justine, darling? Enlighten us. What? Try to remember. The eyewitness account about his dog and his absence from the animal show. When I first heard that information, my suspicion immediately fell on Dogen. I'm amazed you take such pride in retelling your previous failings. But was that not the killer's aim? What if we assume that was their intention from the start? Of course, the chisel served the same purpose. Knightley's body was stabbed in the same spot multiple times with sharp objects. This shows that he was stabbed with the chisel after the real murder weapon was removed. By soaking the chisel in Knightley's blood, the killer wanted to mislead us into thinking the chisel was the murder weapon. Why? That's because... Why did the killer want us to think the chisel was the murder weapon? To get Dogen expelled. Warden Roland, you made use of this chisel's image. Chisel's image? What are you trying to say? Mr. DeBest, when you see this chisel, what does it suggest to you? Something like, Dogen's the killer, right? Now, do you understand? That was the Warden's aim. She wanted us to suspect the person with chisels. Indeed. That was her plan from the very beginning. To make Suron Dogen out to be the killer. I understand your logic. It is true that the Warden did not think kindly of Dogen. But, you understand, don't you? This alone does not prove she is the killer. As though it's not enough, the remaining chance is for me to find the real murder weapon. If you have no more evidence, I believe this conversation is over. I could prove it if I found the real murder weapon. It doesn't matter what you say. We did a clean sweep of this place. It's as Sebastian says. In the end, we could not find any weapons. In other words, such proof is impossible. No. The murder weapon must still be somewhere in the prison. Oh, it's the thing attached to the rope, isn't it? I'm starting to think it's the placeholder attached to the rope. Or the little metal thing. As long as this exists. The security gate. You remember its name after all. Are you mocking me? It's because of those things. That you can't take metal objects in or out of this place. Well, that sudden realization. Just like, oh, yeah. Right. As long as those security gates exist, the murder weapon should still be here. That also means no weapon could have been brought into the prison. In the end, we're back to the same mystery after all. Judge Courtney. Prosecutor Edgeworth, surely you've realized. If the murder weapon is still in the prison, one must also consider how it got there in the first place. The chisel was concealed within the chessboard. But the chisel is not the real murder weapon. Which means the real murder weapon must have been smuggled in somehow. The way it was smuggled in, can you prove that? How Warden Roland brought the weapon into the prison. You had evidence transferred from the precinct. Yes, we borrowed all the evidence concerning Dogen. I've been interrogating him personally in my office, but that's it. She could have used that. This shows another way a weapon could be brought into the prison. I don't know which one it is, actually. My current idea is that alligator she has swallowed the murder weapon, and that's why the metal detector is going off with him. Oh, I just thought about this. Dogen's bells. Because didn't he say that one of his bells was attached to his knife? And since the other one's attached to the chisel, where did it go? Could that be it? But that's not how it got here, right? I think I figured it out, but I don't know what to present.
Take that!
Yesterday, Dogen said this. That was really easy to figure out, mainly due to process of elimination. Like, I looked at all the evidence I haven't used before, and honestly, I think the bell was the only thing I have not presented for anyone. Like, just the bell alone. Yesterday, Dogen said this. Yes, my bells. There are only 2 in the world. Only 2? They're custom-made, attached to my knife in Anubis's collar. Even though I can only rely on my ears, I can easily identify them. Alas, one has been confiscated and is not in my possession. It's possible that the murder weapon was brought in as confiscated evidence. What? What? Dogen's knife was confiscated and stored on the premises. Furthermore, a bell was attached to the knife. It can't be. The bell on that chisel. Exactly. The killer took it from the knife and reattached it to the chisel. But only the fingerprints on the chisels are Knightley's. The killer probably wore gloves when they made the switch. She made the chisel out to be a murder weapon by attaching Dogen's bell, and in doing so made Dogen appear to be the culprit. Furthermore, the handling of the set of evidence that this bell was originally belonged to was only possible for someone with the proper authority. Who, sir? Who had that authority? Why don't we ask the warden what she thinks? You can't... You could find bells anywhere. Anyone could have attached it, right? I see. So you don't know. These bells are Dogen's trademark. There are only 2 in the world. What? And so attaching the bell would naturally make you the killer. Do you have evidence that I have the knife? You don't, do you? The alligator. The knife is in the alligator. Of course, I understand. In that case, Mr. DeBest, I'd like to request an investigation immediately. Huh? But if you find it, it'll be problematic for me. That doesn't matter now. It is necessary that we reveal the truth. You're a prosecutor, are you not? Well, even if you say that. Curse this useless prosecutor! If only I still had investigative rights. Besides, we can't investigate without the warden's permission. Right? There's no way she would approve. We have no choice but to investigate ourselves. If you don't have evidence, there's no use in continuing this conversation. The goddess of law does not smile upon those with no evidence. This will have to be continued in the courtroom. Not good. If we give the warden more time here, she'll definitely destroy the evidence. It seems like I have no choice but to raise an objection and stall for time. But I don't have anything definite. Is that really acceptable? Is it really like me to do something this reckless? No, not good. Now is not the time for hesitation. Right now, I'm not a prosecutor. I'm a failure. I mean, an attorney's assistant. I need to protect my client. I'm the only one who can save him now. In that case... Even if it's a 1 in a million chance, I'll have to take it. It's a sink or swim situation. Should I raise an objection? I will. It almost feels like I've turned into a certain bluffing defense attorney. Phoenix is just sitting at home like someone's talking shit about me. I bet it's Clavy. When right now I can't come to a standstill here. Objection! Hold it. You just said objection and hold it in the same sentence. Pick one. Prosecutor Edgeworth, what now? I just realized something. What would that be? Pray tell. Naturally, the whereabouts of the real murder weapon. Dogen's knife! But Mr. Edgeworth, is that really true? Yes. Though it is a lie. I find that hard to believe. This isn't a bluff, is it? You see, like, Kaede and Shuichi, like, yelling in the background, like, lie, 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 lie. You underestimate me. The word bluff does not exist in my dictionary. This is bad for my heart. There's no way you could know. Such a thing doesn't even exist. Well then, could you enlighten us? Where is the real murder weapon? Think. Think hard. Somewhere the police didn't look. A blind spot in this animal-filled prison. A hiding place the warden would have complete confidence in. Hiding place. Come to think of it. It was inevitable. Anubis, show them your mouth. The same method. No, it couldn't be, could it? But there aren't that many ways to hide things from an investigator's eyes. Prosecutor Edgeworth, how long do you intend to keep us waiting? It's possible, but I'm taking a big gamble here. The place where the murder weapon is hidden is here. Right there. Take that. Here in the courtyard? Indeed. That's not enough information. Please show us more in detail. Where is the real murder weapon hidden? Right? Take that. No, I meant to push Y. Damn it. I meant to go to the pond. That's right, the murder weapon is hidden here. I don't think you could hide something there, sir. Ah, even gumshoe rebuted. It's pointless to keep searching Edgeworth's ear, because it's most certainly not there. Why is the warden so confident? Maybe she hid it in a place where we couldn't approach. I know where she put it, I just pushed the wrong button. Not just some place we couldn't approach, but some place only the warden could get to. It's definitely a possibility. Prosecutor Edgeworth. I'll get it right this time by pushing the right button. There we go.
Take that!
That's it. Back bend. Huh? What's the matter, detective? Looks like the metal detector's reacting to this alligator. Really? Why? We know that the alligator's actually a robot also and it has a metal exoskeleton or something. Of course, that's why the metal detector reacted. Judge Courtney, I'd like you to take a look at this. The chisel? Wasn't that just the fake murder weapon? Dogen hid this chisel inside the dog's mouth, and the real murder weapon was hidden in very much the same way. The real murder weapon is in the pond inside the alligator. What? What? We can confirm that the metal detector reacted to the alligator. Judge Courtney, please have the insides of the alligator examined. I give my consent. We'll have to call a veterinarian. Look, you're gonna have to call a specialist. I don't think any normal vet's like, okay, let me look inside this dog. Holy shit, that's a big dog. Like, I don't think I'm trained to handle this. I can make that little girl open her mouth. Can I help? Yes, go ahead. Can't believe I'm telling a little girl to approach an alligator, but whatever. Oh, Gumshoe's covering her. Gumshoe's gotta make sure she's safe. Warden Roland. Discovering the real murder weapon will settle this matter once and for all. Why don't you do the honorable thing and confess now? What would I have to confess? In that case, you can just wait for your fate to be sealed. Urgh. Oh, we found it, sir. Just where you said it would be. It's over. Patricia Rowland, the real murder weapon is none other than Dogen's knife. And the one who murdered Horace Knightley can only be you. Dogen was the evil one. I didn't do anything wrong. It was completely reasonable. That guy was one of Dogen's henchmen. Him. If only he had never come to my home. I could at least still be happy. My special paradise. He ruined it, all of it. Him, that no-good assassin. Him. Oh my goodness, she's freaking out. She dead now? Whoa. She was a lot less weighty than I thought. I thought she was a very large woman, but the coat was just large. And also, you guys did tell me that Jay Elberds, when he loses his conversation with Edgeworth, his little polar bear jumps off of him. And that's actually supposed to signify like a boxer or a boxer's coach throwing in the flag. It's pretty cool. Thanks for pointing that out. Mr. The Best of the Best, we have the results. The best of the best. Looks like even the forensics officers have it tough. We found the traces of Knightley's blood on Dogen's knife. It was just like you said. You're the best, Mr. DeBest. All right, good job. But don't stop there. Keep the praise coming. Yes, sir. You're so incredible, it brings tears to my eyes. From sorrow? Well done, Sebastian. Next comes the follow-up investigation. Huh? What are you talking about, Justine? Hasn't the case been solved already? We have not yet confirmed if Knightley truly was one of Dogen's henchmen. There's also a chance that Warden Roland jumped to conclusions. Oh. That is the remaining uncertainty in this case. Anyways, let's keep investigating. Hey, you there, come with me. Since I'm the best, the truth will appear before me first. When the moment arrives, make sure you don't miss it. Yes, sir. I'm looking forward to witnessing your first-rate ability. Let's go! Why do you have to run? We live in troubling times, wouldn't you agree? The would-be assassin of the president was found murdered in the prison. Knightley had not planned to assassinate the president. The truth is not as vital as you seem to believe it to be. Not to the world. And not to the law. That can't be right. Believe what you will, however. As long as Prosecutor Edgeworth remains a prosecutor, it is an inescapable reality. A prosecutor is not someone who demands a guilty verdict. That is what I believe. Extend. Those are merely your values. The law is not the plaything of any one person. If you will not submit to that, you will do well to prepare for the consequences. What's that supposed to mean, pal? Don't tell me you're gonna... Now then, this is where I must take my leave. Prosecutor Edgeworth? At least you didn't take away his badge. Judge Courtney is right. The law should not serve any one person's desires. However, if the truth is bent as a result of that, can that really be called justice? Hey, it's him! Ah, Simon! Boss? What happened? They said you could come out already? Oh, well, honestly, I don't know for sure. All of a sudden, they were like, you're free to go, and you should thank Mr. Edgeworth. Well, that's because he found out who was the real murderer. Really? He did, Mr. Edgeworth? Oh, no way, no way, no way. Even if you glare at me like that, it's useless. I'm innocent after all. You can't make me guilty. Simon. You should thank him, you know? You're right. Thank you very much. I want to thank you too. Good grief. Mr. Defense Attorney? Can I ask you just one more question? Yes, you may, but I'm not a defense attorney. I thought that Knightley and I were friends. No, I mean best friends. I always thought we were... You don't think so anymore? But, well, I'm just wondering. There were some things I had no idea about. Like how he could hate someone enough to kill them. That's why... But maybe he never trusted me either. Simon, that's not true. You're lying. Because if I had known, I would have stopped him. If I would have told him he had no need to be angry with anyone. Mr. Keyes, I don't think he disliked you either. Let's show him proof that Knightley trusted him. The chessboard.
Take that!
That's what I gave to... Knightley hid a chisel inside it. Most likely to aid in his escape. Escape? He used me? He trusted in you. He knew you'd bring it to him without looking into it and without question. And in doing just that, you were caught up in everything. Don't cry all over my cravat. It's expensive. Knightley, you idiot. Looks like he gets it. Simon's not as dumb as he looks after all. I'm sure he'll be back to normal by tomorrow. Was that supposed to be a compliment? Oh, I'll be strong. I became a splendid wild animal tamer for Knightley's sake. Excellent. That's the spirit. That's the coolest thing ever. That's an awesome act. Oh, I almost forgot. If you like, please come to our next show. Oh my god, there's that man. I almost forgot about him. Oh, what was his name? Can't remember. Very Big Circus is coming today. I'll also be performing in it. Very Big Circus is always fabulous and fun for all ages. Wow, that sounds like fun. Let's go, Mr. Edgeworth. I'll think about it. Well, we need to get back to practicing right away. You'll be with Regent today. What? The tiger? No way. He'll be fine. He's a good boy. No way. There's no way I'll be fine. You just run away? Please cut me a break, boss. I guess she dragged him off. And they're ready to go. But man, bravo, bravo. You really put on a good show today, Miles. It's all thanks to you, Mr. Shields. Without your help, she might have gotten away. Not to mention allowing us to continue the investigation. Oh man, cut it out already. You're gonna make me blush. I never know when you are being serious. Uncle Ray's always serious. Whoa, I somehow skipped that. So how was it, Miles? How did it feel to be a defense attorney to save people? It felt dirty. Defense attorney. But that really took me back. It was just like being next to your old man again. It's been a while since I felt this good. It was, well, it's somewhat difficult to say it was a good thing. Come on, Miles. Are you sure you don't want to be a defense attorney? What? You know, pick up where your father left off. Don't you want to save people like he did? What are you talking about, pal? Mr. Edgeworth is a prosecutor. But is it really that unusual for a prosecutor to become a defense attorney these days? Unusual isn't the problem here. Hey, don't be so upset. It's normal, you know? Normal. It's not. Normal, pal. You'd all make for a powerful defense team. Mr. Shields, I am a prosecutor. And Uncle Ray's a defense attorney. That's why I'm being serious about this. Well, that's just my opinion. Feel free to drop by any time. If you have a change of heart, I'll be waiting for you. I'm gonna go home and eat Fruit Loops off the floor. Follow in my father's footsteps. I think he's more concerned about Edgeworth having to face him in court eventually. Me become a defense attorney. I forgot about that art. It's been such a long time. I'm going to become a defense attorney just like my dad. Should I become a defense attorney? Like my father? No, Edgeworth, don't. You look better as a prosecutor. The end. Oh man, that was a long case, and it was handled a lot better than I thought it would be. The inherited turnabout. Save cleared data, sure. So, things I liked about that case a lot. I liked finally getting to meet a lot of these characters, like Justine and, Ray and the Best. I don't think the case was... How do I say this? I think the case was interesting because it continued directly from the first one. Like, it related so directly, so quickly. If I had to say anything, and I know I'm going to regret this from the next case, because apparently this case is the longest case in the game and is nearly 2 times the length of episode 2, from what I've heard from you guys. So that's going to be a journey. But, one of the things I liked is even though the case was really, really long, and it felt complex, and I felt like I was getting... like it was becoming overbearing, I really did appreciate the fact that they cut off part of it. Like they said, okay, you don't need this evidence anymore. We're not going to focus on that part anymore. We're just going to focus on the important stuff. Instead of you having to remember every single little detail, the entire case, and every single person you've talked to, it's like, no, we're going to focus on the murder, which made this case much more bearable and much more fun for me. And I honestly have to say, the investigations in Edgeworth are so much better than in the main Ace Attorney games. Like, honestly, I feel like in the main Ace Attorney games, I have to search and search and search and search, and just, I've never met a person who likes that in my life. In Danganronpa, it's fun for me because it's super short, and in here, it's linear and short, just like that. Like, you search a room, you're not going back and forth between this room and this room and this room and this room and talking to this person and presenting evidence to this person. It's just, here's the investigative area, look in it, and you're done. And I know that the later Ace Attorney games, like Dual Destinies and Spirit of Justice, aren't going to be like that, but I really wish they kind of were. Or at least they improve on the investigative range, because it's so much more fun when you're not going between room and room and room. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed these 2 episodes, since the first episode may not have an ending. But I'll catch you guys next time on the Inherited Turnabout. I know I've been away for a bit, but I haven't been feeling well. But this episode, just recording it, made me feel so much better. It's super weird. But if you liked the episode, please leave a like. And if you want to become a member of the Dust Brigade, just click subscribe. Thank you, and see you next time. Edgeworth out.